On the air with Full Court Press Basketball Debate. Chris Guyette here with Yvonne Juneau. June 24th, 2015. For all analysts, this should be their favorite time of year. And I'm going to explain why. There are no more games to be played. We have crowned an NBA champion in the Golden State Warriors, which we will talk about first. There are no more games to be played. When there are games that are going on, it's all about facts. The stats are there. The facts are there. There's nothing to debate about.
Well, not as deeply.
This is the off-season. Welcome to the NBA off-season, the most interesting and most entertaining time of year in basketball, maybe outside of the playoffs. We are here, Full Court Press. Golden State wins the 2015 NBA championship.
For those that don't know,
as they defeated Cleveland on the road in Game 6. As a series in whole, we're talking series in whole here. All 6 games. Yvonne, let's take the Golden State side of it first. How'd they do it? Why were they so good in this series? What propelled them to win this championship?
now, this is strictly, as you began today's debate, you said it's one of your favorite times of the year, and I agree. But we also have to remember that some of these questions that we're going to discuss, it's strictly a matter of your own personal opinion.
Mainly all of these are today, which is what's going to make it so good.
It's your opinion, okay? So I am not the stats queen, and I don't know stats like you. So a lot of these questions are going to be based on my personal opinion of watching the games, what I viewed, what I observed, etc., etc.
Oh, no, all of mine are going to be today.
Golden State won, in my opinion, for 2 reasons. Number 1, Cleveland was severely handicapped with 2 main players out. Okay? But more importantly, or as equally important, I'm not sure which, depends on my frame of mind at the time that we discuss it. Golden State just wanted it more. They did. They wanted it more. It took them 1 or 2 games, even though they won, you could see them struggling in the first couple of games. Once they figured out Cleveland's playing field, how they were going to set up the ball, who they were always going to go to, once they figured out Cleveland's strategy, but it really wasn't much of a contest, especially in the last 2 games. It wasn't. It wasn't. And let's not forget that because the drive, the determination, the desire were there for Golden State. Youth helped, but sometimes experience counts for a lot more, and I know that is your main thing, and I know that. But because of the serious disadvantage Cleveland had by not having Kyrie Irving and not having
Kevin Love,
everything fell on LeBron's shoulders. And let's be perfectly honest here. As good, as awesome, as phenomenal as LeBron can be, by the time it got to Game 6, the man could not go anymore. He was exhausted. And it showed. It takes more than one person to win a game, much less a playoff game, much less for the title. You've got the mental stress, you've got the physical stress, and you have the stress of having all of these, of having the disadvantage of injuries, and you feel like you're carrying the whole game on just your shoulders. That's got to be horrible. That's got to be horrible. So I think it's a combination of a lot of factors, but honestly, much as I hate to admit it, because I was pulling for Cleveland from the very beginning. Golden State outplayed them. They outplayed them. They wanted it more, and they outplayed them. And much as I hate to say it, you cannot dispute Curry with the three-pointers. You just can't. He proved it over and over and over. Everybody had their night where one person shined a little more than the other. Okay? There's a night that Curry did not do well at all. For Curry. I mean, considering what he usually does. But by the time Game 5 and Game 6 rolled around, LeBron couldn't go anymore. I'm not saying the desire was not there for Cleveland. The ability was not there. Fatigue. And I'm sure he was just as strained psychologically and mentally as he was physically. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant.
Well, you said at the very beginning that most of this stuff was going to be opinion-based. And I'm here to tell you that everything you said is a fact. That everything you just said really isn't a matter of opinion, because everything you just said is...
You could see it.
...is the God's to honest truth. Where I will disagree with you is that Golden State wanted it more. I don't think there was a player that wanted this more than LeBron James. I think LeBron James, as a player, wanted this more than the entire Golden State team.
As an individual, yeah, but he can't do it all by himself.
It wasn't a fair fight. That's the one thing I will say about this series, and I'm actually going to add a question C to this that we'll talk about after B that I forgot to add in. Where I get thrown for a loop is why no one is seeing where Golden State actually won this series. Before Andre Iguodala was inserted into the starting lineup, to me, this is no stuff like this is no coincidence. Without Andre Iguodala in the starting lineup in the finals, Golden State was 1-2. 1 win, 2 losses. Iguodala starts, they are 3-0.
Right.
To me, that is no coincidence.
No, that wasn't just a fluke.
That was a great move by Steve Kerr to take Andrew Bogut, lazy, slobbily Jabba the Hutt, out of the lineup. Okay?
He is a pitiful excuse for a big man.
He's a pitiful excuse for a basketball player.
Oh my God, he has no business being in the NBA. Sorry.
To take Bogut out.
Yes.
And to insert Andre Iguodala.
Yes.
And to put the 6'9" Draymond Green at center.
Yep.
Was a big time risk. Big time.
Yep.
But it
worked.
But in the NBA Finals,
even though I don't like him,
you've got to take risks.
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, if it doesn't work, you fix it and you.
And there are many things. There are many reasons why Golden State won this series. Number one, and the main reason, is because it was 5 versus 1. I'm sorry.
I agree. I agree.
Okay.
150%.
It wasn't a fair fight. It wasn't a fair fight.
No.
Number 2.
As you're fond of saying, talk about a mismatch.
Number 2 was the fact that Cleveland's role players just didn't show up. They took a vacation. J.R. Smith was on vacation.
Oh my God.
Iman Shumpert was on vacation. Okay?
The one that was the most disappointing to me was J.R.
Wow. Okay, no, the one that was most disappointing, because at least J.R. Smith was putting up shots. The one that was most disappointing to me was Matthew Dellavedova.
Oh.
He took a vacation. The only two guys.
He was good in Game 1.
The only 2 guys.
He was good in Game 1.
LeBron had help from 2 guys. Tristan Thompson, who deserves his money.
Absolutely.
And Timofey Mozgov.
Uh-huh.
Who went for 28 and 10 in Game 4.
I didn't know who Tristan Thompson really was until these playoffs.
Okay?
Until these finals.
Both of those guys,
oh my God.
Both of those guys deserve their money.
Oh, yeah.
And Mozgov's option got picked up by Cleveland, which we'll talk about later.
Right.
So he's there next season. Will they pay Thompson? Probably. Because I see Kevin Love going out the door.
Yep.
So, LeBron's and the Cleveland's role players took a vacation.
Right.
Number 3 was the tension between David Blatt and LeBron James. Who is the head coach of that team? I don't know.
Well,
I think
we need to definitely make some distinction and some fine lines.
Again, we will talk about that.
We need to draw some lines here.
And the number one thing, and number 4, and lastly, was just overall skill as a team and depth. 5-on-1. It was not a fair fight. It just wasn't.
No.
So
LeBron can't be center court, coming up the middle, about to do a driving shot or a layup or whatever, and still be under the goal in the paint. He can't be in 3 places at the same time.
LeBron is a rare breed that can play all 5 positions.
Absolutely, but he can play all 5 positions, but he can't be in all 5 positions at the same time.
Bingo.
He can't be everywhere at the same time. And there's no I in team.
So let's take the Cleveland side to this. Your thoughts on Cleveland's run at the title?
We just said it. It was a good effort by maybe 2 or 3 people. And poor LeBron, I mean, I'm sure the man is still recuperating.
Yeah, he broke his social media silence yesterday. That secret motivation 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
His kids and the Cleveland fans. So he broke his social media silence yesterday. Look,
there's not much else to say other than the fact that he can't be in 5 places at the same time.
Because a run at the title means that you went through the whole season.
Yeah. A very long, grueling season.
The playoffs, not just the finals.
Playoff version.
I'm sorry. I didn't think Cleveland was going to get past Chicago. With the way Derrick Rose was playing, Jimmy Butler was playing off the charts, Pau Gasol was still getting 19 and 10. The thing that hurt Chicago was losing Joakim Noah.
Yeah.
Okay? I still didn't think Cleveland was going to get past them. And they almost didn't.
I'm still upset because the Spurs didn't make it to the...
And they almost didn't.
Right.
But they did. And they did with... I mean, you got to give them some type of credit. Dellavedova? Really? Coming out of nowhere? Did he get some unwanted heat in the playoffs for diving at people's legs? Yes. Should he do that? No. Did he produce? And did he do his damnedest, excuse my French, to fill in for Kyrie Irving? Yes, he did. Okay?
Yeah, but where was he in the last 2 games?
Where did Tristan Thompson come from?
Right.
Where did Timofey Mozgov come from?
Right.
I mean, it's just guys stepping up. Game after game after game.
Mm-hmm.
But when you hit the finals, you're so damn tired, you just can't do it anymore. It's not just LeBron. Everyone was tired.
Oh, they were all...
But mostly...
They were dragging.
LeBron.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're talking about Cleveland's season here. When you talk about a run at the title, you're talking about their season. With a first-year head coach, with so much drama all year long, so many rumors, they did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
And I think this is the way LeBron wanted. Now, obviously, he wanted a title.
Of course he did.
But this is the type of success that LeBron envisioned when he said, I'm going home.
Right.
This is what LeBron wanted. I think this year, this is more than LeBron was expecting for year 1.
Yeah.
As we'll see much later in the debate, he says, I'm proud of our guys for getting here in the first year.
Right.
Because I don't think he expected to get to the damn finals in the first year. Getting past Atlanta? Getting past Chicago? I mean, come on.
Before the season even...
Come on.
The season had just started. And they were talking about Atlanta was going to take it all the way.
I mean, it's
They
just...
were the pick from the very beginning.
They did a great job all year long, and they deserve credit, and David Blatt deserves credit. They all deserve a butt ton of credit.
But you've got to admit the last 2 games,
The whole series.
were hard to watch, but especially the last 2 games. It's like I wanted to reach through the TV and shake JR and say, would y'all please help the man out?
Andre Iguodala wins the NBA Finals MVP. Question A. Deserved? Why or why not?
Yes, of course. You answered this question in your earlier statement. It's not a coincidence that they put him in and all of a sudden they start winning. Absolutely. Absolutely. He filled a void. He filled a gap. He did what he needed to do to get them in a position to win. He did a hell of a job. Absolutely deserves it.
He deserves it because he came in and played decent defense on LeBron, as best as you really can play it against LeBron, because there's not a soul in the world that can guard him. Okay? But he hit big shots.
Huh? Unexpected.
Not really unexpected.
Several of them were.
Well, timing.
Yeah.
It's all about timing.
Yeah.
And when they needed a shot, when they were down, when they were out, Iguodala was there. And that's what an MVP does.
Right.
So, from a Golden State aspect, he was no doubt the most consistent and best player on Golden State.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Okay?
Right.
But
consistency means more sometimes than doing the flash stuff.
But what about LeBron? Why not LeBron?
Maybe you couldn't have given that to him, not with the way he played the last 2 games, especially the last one. They could not have justified that, baby. He was dragging. Okay? Justifiably so. Justifiably so. Okay? But they couldn't have given it to him in all seriousness without it looking like it was done on purpose. Okay? Did he deserve it? Baby. Probably so. Yeah. He put forth the most effort under the most strenuous and difficult situations and circumstances, yes. But he didn't make the biggest difference to win the whole thing. Iguodala did, baby. Feel sorry for him.
And you know what? That's what I was saying to myself. I kept telling myself, and I'm gonna explain.
My heart wanted to give
I'm
it to LeBron.
I'm gonna explain both sides here. I kept telling myself, yeah, man, Iguodala deserves it. He came out, he did what he had to do. He didn't put up flashy numbers, but really, that's not what it's about.
Right.
You know, he was there when they needed him, and he did a good job against LeBron, and But then I really sat down, and I went game by game, and I looked at the stats. And I'm going to read the exact definition because I feel like I have to go this far. In sports, a Most Valuable Player award is an honor typically bestowed upon the best performing player or players on a specific team in an entire league or for a particular contest or series of contests. That is the definition of an MVP. In nowhere did it say anything about winning.
Oh, no.
In nowhere
No.
did that say that the MVP
Needs to come from
has
the person
to
who
be
wins it.
on the
No.
winning team.
No, I agree with that.
That's where the NBA is faulted. Because Andre Iguodala was not the best player in this series. The MVP is the best player in the series. An MVP. Is it all about the numbers? No, not necessarily. Except when you're putting up 39 points a game, grabbing 15 rebounds a game, and dishing 8-9 assists a game while playing the best damn defense in the series.
Handicapped.
To me, this is a travesty, Yvonne. I don't give a damn if Golden State won the title or not. A team wins the title.
I'm not saying
not a player.
Should have gotten it because that team won. I'm saying he made the biggest difference to enable them to win.
Then that's fair if you're looking from it from just a Golden State aspect. That's not fair if you're taking into account the entire series, because you say LeBron was dragging in Game 6. And yes, he was. But you know what else? He also put up 32, 18, and 9 in Game 6. That is LeBron's dragging. 18 rebounds, 9 assists, 32 points.
I didn't realize he had made that many points in Game 6.
18
I hear
rebounds.
You. I hear you.
I can't believe this. This is where the NBA is faulted. Because just because Golden State wins the title does not mean they had the MVP on their team. They were the better team. That's why they won the championship. Not because they had the best player.
I agree.
That's not necessarily the truth.
I agree. The MVP does not need to come from the winning team.
Okay, that's Game 6. Game 5, LeBron, 40 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists. Okay, Game 4. That's when Mozgov went for 28 and 10. Game 3, LeBron, 40 points, 8 assists. You see what I'm saying? I don't see these numbers from Iguodala. Nowhere near these numbers from Iguodala. I think that this is a travesty. I think that LeBron was robbed of a Finals MVP award, because what more does he have to do? He has to win. And to me, that's not fair.
No.
That's just not fair.
I agree with that. I agree with that. The winning team does not necessarily produce the MVP.
I mean, look at the 2008 season. Chris Paul's best season ever when he was in New Orleans. He finished second in MVP voting to one Kobe Bryant. But Chris Paul had the better stats than Kobe Bryant. But why did Kobe win MVP? Because the Lakers won 63 games. New Orleans won 56.
Right.
So that 7-game difference.
So somebody who's voting has the mentality that the MVP should come from the winning team.
And to me, that's unrealistic.
I know.
That's unrealistic.
I agree.
I mean, you can't. It's unrealistic because you can't argue the numbers. Triple-double after triple-double after triple-double.
I would have been a lot more upset if they'd have given it to Curry.
He played 6 games.
I would have been a lot more upset.
Let this sink in. Okay, and then I'm done.
Okay.
Let this sink in. They played 6 games. 2 triple-doubles. 3 double-doubles. 1 game, LeBron did not get a double-double, at least. In 1 game out of 6, playing by himself,
more
basically.
Yeah.
How many double-doubles did Andre Iguodala have in this series?
I'm following you. Yeah.
Goose egg, Yvonne. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just don't see how Iguodala Because the MVP, what it comes down to is you are the best player in this series. You gonna sit there and tell me that Andre Iguodala is better than LeBron James? I don't think so. There is nobody that is better than LeBron James. And he proved it. Yeah, you can talk and talk and talk and talk. He proved it. He went the extra mile. He won 2 games by himself. What other player could do that today? I don't know of any. I damn sure know Kevin Durant couldn't do it. I know Chris Paul couldn't do it simply because he's not that type of player. Kobe at his age, I don't think he could do it. LeBron's the only guy in today's league that I think could have gone this far. Anybody else, I think, would have gotten swept. I think it's a travesty. Analysts and writers are upset with LeBron's treatment of David Blatt during the finals. We know about the tension between him and LeBron and who's the real head coach and yada yada yada. Give me your take on this whole situation, and will David Blatt be back next season? Why or why not?
Is it up to him?
Yes, it is. Well, they could fire him.
Okay,
but he did sign a contract. But they could fire him.
How long is this contract for?
I think it's 3 years. Basically, what I'm asking you is, will they fire David Blatt? That's what I'm basically asking here. Give me your thoughts on this whole LeBron Blatt situation.
Okay, I know you're much more opinionated about this than I am. I'm just going to give. I think it's a series of events here. Number one, I think we have to start with step one. Step one is it's all going to be decided after they find out if LeBron is going back to Cleveland. If LeBron stays with Cleveland, that brings up step two. The powers that be are going to sit around the table and they're going to say, oh, LeBron signed up to play another year. Okay? If LeBron signed, that's step one.
Word is that he's going to sign a max deal with Cleveland.
Word is. Okay? It hadn't happened yet.
I'm right there with you.
All right. All of these things are conditional. Step one, is LeBron going to stay? If LeBron stays, then they have to ask themselves step two. LeBron and David Blatt were having issues, controversy, and let's be perfectly honest, when you get out on the floor, guys are going to do what LeBron tells them to do, not what Blatt tells them to do.
Qualify it.
And
as they should, correct?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure.
All right. On the other hand, as they should, yes, because he's more experienced at knowing what's going on the court. However, who's the coach here?
I agree.
Why the hell are you paying Blatt if LeBron's going to run the show?
I agree.
Then Blatt needs to step up and be the coach.
Thank you! Thank you! Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Because nobody else is.
Okay.
Thank you!
So, they have to ask themselves.
God.
If they keep up, then we go into part B of step two. If they decide, the powers that be, if they decide to keep Blatt and not fire him, are they going to leave things alone and let LeBron still run the show, even though Blatt is supposed to be, quote unquote, the coach? Or are they going to go to Blatt and say, now look, we're paying you a hell of a lot of money. You're the coach. You make a play or you call for something to happen. You don't let LeBron go out there on the floor and change everything at the last minute and expect everybody to listen to him. And that ain't going to happen. I don't see that happening. So then we go to step three. They fire him. Who's going to take his place and be the type of coach that is going to tell LeBron, I drew up this play. And is that coach going to be better equipped and know his stuff better than LeBron does on the court.
No.
You got good and bad
No.
in both.
Okay.
Yeah, but LeBron cannot be the main star player and the face of the team and the coach.
Well, no. And I agree with that.
Okay, so you gotta tell Blatt, be the coach. But if he is the coach, then there's going to be headbutting and there's going to be...
Well, what you're saying is LeBron needs to listen to it.
Exactly. You can't have it both ways.
Here's the thing.
And if they're going to listen to LeBron, they don't need Blatt at all. Why are they paying him all that money?
I'm going to tell you right now that this was tormented from day one because
Who's the coach here?
When they went out and got David Blatt, LeBron said, "Really? Who the hell is this guy?" And you know what? He had every right to say that. Because nobody knew who the hell he was. You gonna go and get some coach from Europe? Europe to coach LeBron?
I'm going to put a thought in your head not to interrupt you. Don't you think there might have been a little finagling to do that on purpose? Because if they got somebody like, not that they could, but if they got somebody like Doc, Pop, somebody like that, you talk about lock horns with LeBron.
See,
so they So they found somebody who had a good record in Europe. Wait.
I think your argument's faulted, though.
Wait. Who, when confronted with LeBron, they knew that once LeBron got on the court, the guys were going to listen to LeBron. You got to have a coach. So get somebody that's not going to conflict or confront LeBron. And really, technically, LeBron ran the show.
But I think...
And that's wrong.
But I think you need somebody.
Absolutely.
Like Rivers,
but they didn't
Popovich.
want to do that. Because they don't
need
want
to.
Yeah, but they don't want to ruffle LeBron's feathers. You don't see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I do. But LeBron...
He can be the coach and the star.
At the end of the day, LeBron is a player.
I agree.
So, at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that LeBron is just like J.R. Smith. LeBron is just like Kyrie Irving.
But
LeBron is just like Kevin Love.
Not.
As far as playing skill goes, but their job titles are the same. You are a basketball player.
I agree. But I agree 100%.
But LeBron...
But do you really want to piss LeBron off?
But LeBron needs the type of coach that's going to say, hey...
I said it's going to be this...
No. Sit down with him and say, okay, I'm going to run certain things and you're going to run certain things. When you're on the court, you're in charge. Because you're playing. I'm not.
You're out there and I'm not.
I'm not. But in the locker room, on the drawing board, in practice, in camps.
On the sidelines.
On the sideline. That's what I'm saying. On the drawing board.
For him to say, no, we're not going to do that.
That's my job.
That is total disrespect for the coach.
But you have to have the credentials to sit down with LeBron. I don't
He's got to
care.
respect the person who's doing
I don't
this.
care if
I
David
understand
Blatt
that.
has won 18 titles in Europe. That's
understand
Europe!
that. I understand.
Give me a damn break.
I understand.
I'd be insulted if I was LeBron too.
I understand that. I hear
You're gonna hit me
saying.
with this no-name coach, and I'm expected to listen to this guy?
Do you really want to piss LeBron off?
I don't think it'd piss him off. If you got the right guy, you've got
the right
to get.
Guys are taken.
They are. They
the
are.
Ones like Pop and Doc, and I mean,
there's somebody out there.
Well,
there is somebody out there
willing to go toe to toe.
Yes.
And have a conversation.
But
and draw the line.
But in
the
order
sand.
to even take that first step, LeBron has to know who the hell you are.
I agree.
Who the hell knows who's David Blatt?
I agree. I agree.
I would be insulted too.
I agree with all of that.
And now, what I'm gonna say.
Now, who is the ultimate culprit in this situation? In my opinion, the powers that be around the table who got Blatt to come over in the first place. Find somebody that you think LeBron can work with, but that LeBron also respects because he's got the credentials and he's got the track record, and LeBron knows this guy knows his business.
The main culprit? The media. And I'm going to tell you why.
No.
I'm going to tell you why.
The powers that be that brought Blatt over.
I'm going to tell you why. How do we know that LeBron's treating David Black badly? How do we know that for a fact?
Well, we can see what's going on the sideline.
But you don't know what they're saying. You don't know what's actually going on.
The fact that David Black threw a whole play out because LeBron...
We don't know that for a fact. The media said that.
Oh.
How do we know that actually happened, Yvonne?
Okay.
This stuff could be totally falsified.
Did he ever dispute it one way or the other?
No.
Did Blatt say anything about it?
David Blatt said it is a pleasure and a privilege to work beside LeBron every day in practice. To me, that doesn't sound like you're treating him badly. It doesn't.
It's a matter of perception.
It doesn't. Are we really sitting here and talking about LeBron's treatment of David Blatt? Are you kidding me? Who's the coach?
Well, that's my...
So
it all comes down to that.
So
one is the player, one is the coach.
But you have to have the authority.
I agree.
And you've got to have that wit about you. Grow a pair, step up, and actually be the coach. How about that? How about that?
I don't see him coming back.
I do.
You do?
Because you can't argue success.
Well.
Simply because there is no one out there right now.
Place. Well, now that I do agree with
There's no one out there
There
right now.
is no one out there right now.
And the formula is working. The formula is working. You cannot argue success.
If they had not had the handicap,
correct, they would have won.
They would have won.
They would have won. You cannot argue success.
No doubt in my mind.
The Cavaliers, and then we're going to stop part one. We're going to move on to part two. The Cavaliers pick up Timofey Mozgov's option. He had a $5.6 million option to either stay or go. It was a team option, not a player option. So the Cavaliers decided to pick it up. Good or bad move, and why?
Of course it's a good move. They need him. What in the world could you say negatively about that?
Nothing to me.
Shame on them if they wouldn't have taken him up on it.
No, he's...
Oh, that was a simple question to answer.
Well, it's a smart move, too.
Yeah,
it's a smart move, and there's many reasons for it. Number one is because Mozgov was the second best player on the team. Outside of Tristan Thompson, maybe. Second of all, I feel that Kevin Love is on his way out the door. I don't think that Cleveland wants to give Kevin Love a max contract because I don't think he deserves it. Okay? Not that Kevin Love can't play.
Not a good player.
He's a great player.
Okay.
But I don't think he's as good as people hype him up to be.
No.
I don't think he's that damn good.
And honestly, forgive me, but he's not worth the money they're using on him.
Well, not only that, it comes down to this. Who do you want to give the max deal to? LeBron or Kevin Love?
Exactly.
Give me a damn break.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So Mozgov, is he great? No. But he is the perfect fit.
Yeah.
And he is the perfect counterpart to one LeBron James.
Right.
Because he does
very well together.
He does the little stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can score.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets rebounds.
He goes the extra mile.
But he blocks shots. He has he's a good post-up
Chris,
guy.
I have a question for you to add, an addendum to add to that. Do you see Kevin Love sitting on the bench? I don't.
Hell no.
I don't either.
Hell no. It's a great move by Cleveland. It's a great move.
So what's going to happen to Kevin Love?
He's on his way out the door. Where he's going to go from there, I don't know.
Is he a free agent?
He will be, yes.
He will be.
If Cleveland decides to not re-sign him.
Okay.
Yes, he will be an unrestricted free agent. I think he's on his way out the door. But oh, never mind. I think he's on his way out the door.
Where do you think he's going? Back to Minnesota?
I don't see him going back to Minnesota because I don't think he wants to lose. Sorry. I hate to be shrewd, and we're going to talk draft later, but I don't think he wants to lose. And I think Minnesota's got the big-time recipe for disaster. So I don't think he wants to lose.
You think they'll be standing in line waiting for him?
Someone will, yeah.
Yeah.
As they should.
Yes.
Because he's a franchise player.
Absolutely.
But he's not well developed yet. I'm sorry,
Right.
he's just not.
Right.
I think it was a premature. I think it was premature
a risky
adulation
thing to begin with, and then when he got injured and had to be out, it gave the others an opportunity to step up, and we got to see who
Right.
could handle it.
Right. Part 1 ends here. Part 2 gonna come at you next.